What's up, my Patreon subscribers? How you doing? First, I want to thank all of you all for the well wishes and congratulations on my recent marriage. I'm very, very, very thankful and appreciative of the love and kudos that all of you guys have given me. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Much appreciated. This is a new adventure for me, both with getting married and soon to be a first-time father. And thank you. What else was I going to say? I meant to do a video earlier this week. Anytime I go more than a few days without doing a video, it's not that I'm ignoring you guys. It's usually because of one or two things. I'm either out of town or I'm doing a boatload of Skype and telephone consultations with individual clients and Patreon subscribers. So, I spend a lot of my days doing a lot of Skype and telephone consultations with many of you guys, my Patreon subscribers and clients. So sometimes that prevents me from doing Patreon exclusive videos. Now, this particular video is not going to be anything rocket science. It's going to be something I've told you guys a few times before, but I'm going to just state it again. Oh, one more announcement. You know, we're in the midst of the Conquer Your Fear of Rejection Conquer Your Fear of Rejection Challenge number 6. This is the 6th edition in the last 3 years of my Conquer Your Fear of Rejection Challenge. And it's going to come to an end 2 weeks from Friday, August 7th. Friday, August 7th is the last day. You should be approaching a minimum of 3 women. That's the minimum. Every Patreon subscriber should be approaching a minimum of 3 women. And whoever approaches the most women between the start of the challenge and the end of the challenge, they earn a free 20-minute telephone or Skype consultation with me. And in the future, I might give them a 1-month refund on their Patreon subscribership. Hell, I might do that next month. Who knows? I ain't gonna guarantee it. I might do that. Yeah. As I mentioned before, there's 2 people I know by name who have won my previous 5 challenges. The Patreon subscriber named Currie, he won 2 of them. Yeah, he won 2. And my Patreon subscriber named Antonio Burrell, he won at least 1 of my previous. So whoever approaches the most women, and I don't have any evidence of this, I just take people on their word. So I hope that people don't lie to me about how many women they approach. I take people on their word. But yeah, whoever approaches the most. But yeah, that's coming to an end. And this video is just going to be related to that. I had a Patreon subscriber write me and say, Alan, it seems like you've reached a point where you never take rejection personal. But I wish I was that way. But I have to tell you, I do take rejection personal. When I get rejected, particularly when I get rejected by multiple women in a row, it makes me feel like a loser. It makes me feel like a loser. It makes me feel like I'm physically unattractive, that I'm even in some cases repulsive, and it just really bothers my soul to get rejected. And Alan, I wanted to know, you seem like a pretty charming guy, pretty handsome guy, so maybe this is never affected you in this way, but is there any helpful hints you could give me for not getting totally dejected when you get rejected, particularly if you get rejected by, like, say, 3 or more women consecutively? Like, say you approached 5 women in one day or 1 week, and all 5 of those women rejected you. How do you keep a positive attitude after being rejected by multiple women? It can be challenging at times. Well, first of all, to speak for myself, a lot of people, like this guy was saying, Alan, you probably haven't experienced too much rejection because you seem like a handsome, charming, charismatic guy. Shit, I've been rejected. Over the last, say, 35 years, I've been rejected by probably, like, literally thousands. Not dozens of women, not hundreds of women, but literally thousands. Yes. I would almost bet money that I've been rejected more than any of my any individual Patreon subscriber of mine. Here's what I found, and I've said this multiple times before. It sounds crazy, but you'll find the guys who have been rejected the most, ironically and interesting enough, are usually the ones who are the least affected by it. I find guys who tend to be the most profoundly affected by rejection in a real negative way are guys that really haven't been rejected that much. Like, I know guys who have only been rejected, say, like, a half a dozen to a dozen times a year, that tend to take rejection, they tend to dwell on it more than guys who've gotten rejected, like, say, over 100 or 200 times in a year. It starts with you. Starts with you. How do you feel about yourself? How do you feel about yourself? In other words, what I'm asking you is, no woman can really make you feel like a loser. No woman can make you feel like a loser. If you already feel like a loser, then a woman rejecting you can exacerbate that feeling, magnify that feeling. But, I mean, you take somebody like Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan had this classic commercial where he was talking about all the times he missed a game-winning shot. And he's lost a lot of playoff games before he won his first NBA championship. Now, do you think before Michael Jordan won his first NBA championship that he went home saying, damn, I'm a loser because I haven't won an NBA championship? Kobe Bryant, before he won his first NBA championship, he had lost a bunch of games, and more specifically a bunch of playoff games. You think he felt like a loser? Here's one analogy I give, and I don't know if this is the most accurate one, metaphor, but some of my longtime followers should recall my money in an envelope metaphor or analogy. And it goes like this. Let's say you went into a party, and scenario number one, you had an empty envelope, and I challenge you to go up and approach a minimum of 25 women and ask them for $100. And ask them for $100. How much confidence would you have towards doing that? How much confidence would you have towards doing that? towards going up to approaching 25 women and asking them for $100. Okay, that's scenario number one. Now, scenario number two. Let's say you were going up to 100 women. I mean, not 100 women. Let's say I challenge you to also go out in scenario number two to approach 25 women. And I told you to say to each woman, you open the conversation by saying, do you have what it takes to deserve this offer? Do you have what it takes to deserve this offer? And let's say one or more of the women said yes. You would give that woman $100. But let's say some of the women said, no, get away from me. Why are you asking me that question? But you had an envelope with $100 in it that you were willing to give them. How would you feel if they rejected you knowing you was getting ready to offer them $100? You get the meaning of the difference between scenario number one and scenario number two? See, in the first scenario, you're treating a woman like she has something of value to give you. But in scenario number two, you're approaching those women with the attitude that you have something of value to offer them. See, and basically without getting too lengthy, the point I'm trying to make is when you approach women and you have high self-esteem, which means in simple terms, you feel like you have as much, if not more, to offer the woman as she does to offer you, then rejection is not going to bother you as much. You're still going to feel disappointed. You can't ever escape feeling disappointed. That's inevitable. Anytime you get rejected by a woman that you're attracted to, you're going to feel disappointed. But I'm talking about feeling dejected. Like, I very rarely have ever feel dejected when I've gotten rejected by a woman. As a matter of fact, me and my wife were just talking about this yesterday. Literally, just yesterday. I'm going to say it was yesterday. I was saying that there are some women in my past that rejected me that at the time I was disappointed, but in retrospect, I'm glad they rejected me. I think I talk about that in one of my books. There's a section in my book where I say sometimes a woman's rejection is God's protection. And that was my way of saying that there's going to be some women you're going to interact with that are going to end up rejecting you, that at the time you're probably going to feel egotistically disappointed. But days later, weeks later, months later, years later, you're going to look back and say, damn, I am so glad. Like, let's say you met a woman at a party named Lisa, and you wanted to hook up with Lisa real bad, and she rejected you. And you feel like, damn, I really wanted to hook up with Lisa, but she rejected me. Then you find out 6 months later that same woman, Lisa, stabbed her boyfriend to death with a knife. Aren't you going to feel like, shit, I'm glad I didn't hook up with her? I mean, that might be an extreme example, but, you know, yeah, there's quite a few women, man, in my past that I'm actually glad that I got rejected by them. But bottom line, you can't take rejection too personal. You just plain and simply, man, every woman has their taste in men, what type of men they want at that particular moment, just like you do. I mean, all us men, we have our taste in women. Some of us like tall women, short women, women with blonde hair, women with brunette hair, women with blue eyes, women with hazel eyes, whatever. I mean, we have our tastes. And so, yeah, you just, Don't let rejection be an indictment on who you are as a person. Don't let rejection, don't ever think of yourself as a loser because you had 2 or more women in a particular day, a particular week, or even a particular month reject you. Like I said, over the last 35 years before I met my wife, I was probably rejected by a minimum of 1,000 women. And I never allowed it to negatively affect my sense of self-confidence or my sense of self-esteem because I knew internally that I had a lot to offer. Get it? Got it? Good. All right. I'll be doing a number of telephone and Skype consultations to close out the month. And then we start right back over again next month. All right. Stay safe and healthy out there. Next live stream will be not this Saturday, but a week from Saturday. A week from Saturday. All right. I'll talk to you later.